Hey, John.
Hey Eric, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good. A little bit of a false start there. Some audio issues,
Yeah,
but we're good now.
yeah. Take two. Take two. They're small.
Uh,
Welcome
yeah.
home. Welcome back to Oregon.
Well, thank you. Got home late Friday night. Was kind of in the middle of a cold last week. It's kind of ended up. I spent most of the weekend sleeping, and we actually even ended up before we had left. We had got most of that Magic Puzzle Company puzzle done,
Right.
and uh, we got back, and my wife was, we should really finish this so we can pass it on to the next person. So we finished it up over the weekend, and it was really cool, right?
Totally awesome.
You should, do you want
You
me
should
to
spoil it. Yes,
spoil
spoil
it
it.
for you?
I did not buy one.
Yeah.
What
So
was the trick?
so the trick is the puzzle, actually you make the puzzle and it's a full complete scene, but it's in three parts.
Okay.
So the puzzle itself will slide apart into three bits. And then so what you do is you slide the top part up, and then the two bottom pieces that are kind of at a diagonal and kind of have curves through them, they magically slide into a couple notches opposite each other. So the right bottom piece moves over to become the left bottom piece, and the
Okay.
left bottom piece becomes the right bottom piece. And when you do that, it kind of makes a hole in the center of the puzzle.
Like a circle or a square or a diamond?
Another shape, like kind of, yeah, an awkward shape that kind of fits the rest of the pattern.
Oh, not a
So no, it's not like a
platonic solid.
no. It's it's. I wanted to say spline, but that's not the word. It's
Okay.
yeah.
But it's not
It,
a
it
square.
it's not a square, or yeah, it's a thing. And then you open the second pack of puzzle pieces, and you open it up, and there's another pocket in there that says, "Hey, don't cheat." So you get one chance, right? Because you open the pack, so it comes in these little. The puzzle pieces come in envelopes,
Okay.
and so the first is, it has out in the outside, says open this first, and then the other packet says don't open this until you've finished the first puzzle.
Okay.
And so we open, we did not try to
You were
cheat.
good. You were
We
good.
were good. We opened the second one, and there's another envelope inside that, a smaller envelope inside that. You pull that out, and it says, don't cheat.
So, okay.
Trust us.
Are you
Finish the puzzle first.
are you sure you want to push this button?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And so then you open that, and then it's got all the rest of the puzzle pieces. And this one was a little bit different in that it didn't have a little map showing you where the puzzle pieces go. So it made it a
Okay.
little bit
A
harder.
little
Like
trickier.
the rest of it, you saw things. So this was the thing. So uh, it was actually kind of cool. Enjoyed that.
That's awesome.
The scene before you find out what the magic part of the puzzle is just was like a bunch of bugs and critters kind of playing around a little, lazy river. And there was a dinner party going on, and there was some other stuff going on. And it was just a small bug scene. Well, when you fill in the pieces in the middle, you find out what started the party.
Okay.
It was a soda cup that had fallen over and started leaking. That was the little river. There was a half-eaten hamburger kind of on the grass, and that's what was being chopped up and taken to feed, the restaurant area.
Diners. Okay.
The diners, yeah, and the other area, So it was very clever, very well done. I will definitely be acquiring. And actually, while we were on vacation, I tried to find another puzzle company, Magic Puzzle Company puzzle from I think it was actually called the Nerd Store in this mall in Utah that we wandered through.
So that you could do it while you were on vacation.
Yeah, so we could do another one, or at least start another one.
Right.
But I could
But no
find one.
luck.
So
Okay.
no, but I think we'll get another. It was
So
just
so
genuine fun.
you then had to pack it all back up in the multiple
Yes.
envelopes and
Yes. And fortunately the backs of the puzzle pieces are different between the magic part, the kind of the new part, and the other part. So you can put them in the wrong envelope, but you have to try to put them in the wrong
Okay.
envelopes, right? It's very well done, and the pieces are very well made, I'll say.
okay.
They fit very well together. You do some puzzle pieces and you pull them apart and the little knobby on one of the, connectors will snap off or bend or whatever. You could do this, but you'd have to try on these.
Yeah.
It was a good quality puzzle. So count me as a convert.
You're reminding me, and maybe I said something about this like last year or whatever. I had a short stint of a couple of weeks, I think it was last year sometime, where I watched a whole bunch of YouTubes of competitive puzzling.
Oh no!
Did you know there? Did you know that was a thing?
I there's a rabbit hole I am now going to follow. Thanks for that. Competitive puzzling.
Yes. Yes. It's actually surprisingly addictive.
Oh my
anyway,
goodness.
Okay. TMI.
Oh my goodness.
TMI. Okay. Evidently, I didn't mention that to you.
No, that's fascinating.
It was a short-lived stint, and my wife was like, "You're watching what?" Anyway,
YouTube.
I'm like, well, it's kind of cool. Anyway,
do they now? Sorry, I should.
There's like world championships.
They race to get it done first.
Yes, in some. Yes,
it's
okay. Yeah.
All right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You're gonna go Google. Okay, I'll send you a link. It'll be a like a one-way door. Anyway, okay. TMI.
All right.
All right. I have a minor bee update for you. A very. Okay. So I went into winter with 6 colonies.
Yes.
I have 1 still alive. Oh. Weather was over 50 degrees this past weekend, and so I was like, man, I should go out and put some dry sugar up on top just in case they are hungry. It's been cold,
Right.
And so I cracked the top of all of the ones, other than the one that I thought might still be alive. I didn't see any bees in any of them. I didn't dig into them. I might do that this weekend if it's nice enough. Because it was kind of in between rain showers. It was not good weather, but it was at least warm weather this weekend.
Okay.
So I took a pint of sugar out and cracked the one that was still alive, and the bees were in there so I just kind of poured the sugar around and put the lid back down and was like, okay, well, at least I have 1. So yeah, I'm super bummed about that.
Yeah.
And I actually went to the Tualatin Valley Beekeepers meeting last night in person, and I always get excited about getting into them in the spring and stuff. Yep. But also I'm like, well, crap, I'm going to have to buy a couple more nukes this year. And they said that the commercial beekeeper losses have been so bad, they're not sure they're going to be able to buy nukes. And if they do, they're not sure how much they're going to cost. So I'm like, oh man, no. Serious? So anyway, my fingers are crossed, but it's starting to, feel like spring out there. So I'm.
You are my yellow jacket trap reminder every year.
March 1st is
Eric, go put out yellow jacket traps.
March. Yeah, actually, I am not prepared for Saturday, but if Amazon gets stuff, I have to order the yellow jacket bait.
So what ones do you do? Do you do the bags that you fill with water, or are these for the ones on the ground?
No, I just use the plastic yellow
neon tubes. Yeah, with a little bit of the whatever scent at the top.
Yeah, depending on I prefer the packages that have the little plastic thing that has the scent in it, and you just kind of replace it in the middle. But sometimes I get the ones that have the cotton ball that you dribble the stuff on. I like the 10-week ones though. I think most of the cotton ball ones only last a few weeks. So anyway, yeah. All right. Now's the time of year if you want to trap the queens.
Yeah.
Or
I get them every year, and I keep thinking I need to do this earlier.
Yeah.
You remind me every year, and it takes me a month to get to
March. It's March. March 1st is my reminder.
I am going to get to it earlier this year.
Yeah, I did get to spend a little bit of time this weekend in the shop because I've had like had a I don't know, like I had a missing. I have for my router table. I have a B box jig to make the boxes that have like the fingers in them.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've had a couple of boxes half constructed out there for like weeks, and this past weekend I was like, I need to go. It will. I need to go finish putting them together, glue them up, and clean off my table saw. So I got those put together. It was good. I got to spend a little bit of time with it. Also, if it's warmer, I need to paint some. I've got a bunch of stuff to paint, boxes and stuff that I've made over the last year.
Okay.
So, not that I need any more gear, since as I started with, I'm down to 1 hive. So, I have enough stuff for 6 or 7 hives. So, I don't need any more stuff. But
okay.
Now I'm sad.
Okay.
Now I'm sad. Anyway.
Alrighty.
On that note, how about some security?
Okay. I guess this is segue. Stretch of a segue for Venom Yellow Jacket. So there is a new campaign by some malicious actors that have stolen about 500,000 in Bitcoin. 5 whole Bitcoins. It's about 500,000. But the interesting thing about this one is it's been dubbed GitVenom.
Okay.
By Kaspersky, because what they have done is they've infected a bunch of GitHub repositories with various different tools, ones that the malicious actors own themselves or ones that they can get access to make commits to, like apparently hundreds of these. Like automation for interacting with Instagram accounts, or a Telegram bot that enables remote management of Bitcoin wallets. Why you would want to remotely manage a Bitcoin wallet with Telegram? Beyond me.
What?
A crack tool to play the Valorant game. So for one of these they're kind of, I guess, gamers and cryptocurrencies go together.
I could see the Venn diagram having more overlap than with other segments of society.
Yeah. So, anyways, all these projects, Kaspersky alleges, were fake in some way or another. The criminals just stole personal and banking data and hijacked crypto wallets from these accounts. If you installed these,
so if you clone the repo
or clone the repo, put it in wherever, and on top of that, the projects were not. It wasn't just like one code base. They wrote the code to do this infection in Python, JavaScript, C, C++, C#, a bunch of different languages. But the end goal of what these projects did was they would launch an embedded malicious payload that was responsible for retrieving additional components from an attacker-controlled GitHub repo and then executing them. So it didn't. It just had kind of like the setup in all these one-off, hundreds of one-off GitHub projects, and then that when it launched, it would go get the real thing from GitHub again.
Well, command and control.
Yeah. So one of the things that another Bitdefender revealed is these scammers are exploiting the major esports tournaments. They name the esports tournaments, which I don't know if I can pronounce them. But, I guess, esports folks, and to be fair, I have enjoyed a game called Rocket League for a while, and there is an esport, Rocket League esport, where you can talk about watching people do competitive puzzling. I have watched people play video games for several hours. But they would hijack YouTube accounts and impersonate professional players, and it names some professional players. And, the cyber criminals would then say, hey, we'll give away skins or drops or whatever for different things if you send us some information, which then would result in their Steam accounts being stolen, cryptocurrency theft, or just loss of valuable in-game items. I mean, there's a lot of items that you can collect in the game and then
Mm,
trade. I think you even know about that. That's like not something new in video games.
no,
Like, didn't
not at
World of
all.
War? I know you're a World of Warcraft or used to be, and you would collect a bunch of stuff
Like a
and then you could
decade
sell it,
ago.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a long
Yeah,
time
yeah.
ago. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's coming around, but I just thought this was interesting because it was called GitVenom, and not only did it infect a bunch of Git repos, it used Git as its command and control. GitHub, I should say.
Wow.
I'm sure it's shut down by now, but
Uh-huh.
there you go.
Okay. So they wrote spoof projects that were attractive enough that they got some number of people to download and run them.
Huh?
That's a lot of work for a little bit of money. But I mean,
Five whole
Who knows?
Bitcoins.
Who knows how much? Yeah. Well, so it's ironic that you bring in cryptocurrency because my first topic is cryptocurrency related, mainly because when I sat down, I was like, oh, let's check out the Web3 is going great.com again. And there was something on the top of that I was like, ooh, something had pushed Argentina's president down one slot.
I did see this.
Yeah.
I did
So
read about this one.
I'll see your $500,000 and raise you 1.35 billion. Because yeah, so this came out last Friday. That the cryptocurrency exchange Bybit said that an attacker gained control of an Ether wallet and then transferred around $1.5 billion worth of holdings to an unidentified address, which is enough that like there was some comment in one of the articles that, if they tried to dump all of that at the time, that would actually result in, affecting ETH's actual value. But then, so funny thing though, how do they actually do this? It's just, so it was a cold wallet. Yeah, it says so cryptocurrency exchange Bybit said on Friday an attacker gained control of an Ether wallet and transferred around 1.5 billion worth of holdings to an unidentified address. The Ether cold wallet was the only one that was attacked, and all other wallets of the exchange are ineffective, with withdrawals proceeding normally, the CEO said. And here the quote, Bybit is solvent. Even if this attack loss is not covered, all client assets are one-to-one backed. We can cover the loss. Just, okay, they're just got so much money or something. But there was a follow-up today that said, evidently the FBI released, and this is the link we'll actually put in here for the link for this is because there's a link to the last Friday's in here. The FBI said on Wednesday that North Korea was responsible for the theft, and that they are referring to a specific North Korean malicious cyber activity as TraderTraitor.
Okay.
TraderTraitor actors are proceeding rapidly and have converted some of the stolen assets to Bitcoin and other virtual assets dispersed across thousands of addresses on multiple blockchains, it said in a public service announcement. So
Later, Tater.
Later, TraderTraitor. Later.
Bye. Money.
Okay. Yeah. So Web3 is
Goodbye,
going
fake money.
great.com.
Yeah.
So
All right. Cool.
there you go. But my actual, like, more, my second article and kind of the more security related article is that the UK has been after Apple to ensure that Apple can give them data when they ask for it under a warrant. Apple, of course,
Right.
tries to end-to-end encrypt everything so that they cannot respond to subpoenas. They don't have even the capability of responding to subpoenas.
Right.
And that's the case for some things already. But if you enable the Advanced Data Protection, ADP, in your iCloud account, I want to say all, but more of your data in iCloud will be end-to-end encrypted, including
Right.
photos and other documents that are stored in iCloud.
Mm-hmm.
But this is an opt-in feature. You can go into settings, click on your name, go to iCloud, I think data and privacy, and you can enable ADP in the US at least. What Apple did in the UK is basically say, fine, UK citizens are not eligible for signing up for ADK or ADP anymore. So as of sometime just before this article came out, if you try and sign up for if you go into there to ADP, you'll see and you're in the UK, you'll see an error message that says something like Apple can no longer offer advanced data protection in the United Kingdom to new users. Mm-hmm. So they're not letting people sign up for it. So I mean, personally, I'd rather they do this than other things.
Add a backdoor.
Oh, certainly better than add a backdoor. So I mean, the question would be whether they can build a system that does not allow them to do that and take that through the courts, etc. So the one of the other nice things about this article is it quotes our senator. So one of our senators, because there's some question for whether or not this is even good enough, because the UK law that they were trying to enforce on this doesn't actually matter, that it's just UK citizens. So it might be interesting if they try and enforce it outside the UK. And because Apple does business in the UK. So that there might be some interesting things there in the future. So there's a quote in here from Senator Ron Wyden that says, withdrawing end-to-end encrypted backups from the UK, and then here's a quote, creates a dangerous precedent which authoritarian countries will surely follow.
Of course.
Senator Wyden believes the move will not be enough for the UK to drop its demands, which would, quote, seriously threaten the privacy of US users. There's a quote from Apple that says, I don't know. It says, enhancing the security of cloud storage with end-to-end encryption is more urgent than ever before. Apple remains committed to offering our users the highest level of security for their personal data and are hopeful we will be able to do so in the future in the UK. So,
okay. Well, I wonder how many people actually have turned it on, though.
I actually looked and I had not. So one of the things I did right before this was go in and set up a recovery key and set up a recovery contact and in anticipation. But first I need to make sure I've got a good backup of everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Separately. I'm just looking at my Backblaze state right now. So anyway.
Cool.
Anyway.
Alrighty.
So there you go. That's my topic. So end-to-end encryption is a good thing in my estimation. Okay.
I agree. All right.
Something fun.
My something fun. So I don't do the Facebook thing, but I do have Instagram, which is Facebook. And I think I mentioned before, that's kind of what the family, we send each other the funny little reels back and forth. It's fun. I was scrolling through my Instagram reels and there was a reel that was saying, hey, did you know that there are public government institutions that have 3D models that you can print?
What?
And it went through the Smithsonian. So if you want to 3D print, for example, the very first footstep that they found, or skulls from different animals, or early humans, or Neanderthals, or
what?
All sorts of stuff. You can go to the Smithsonian and download those. But the link I'll put in here, because you could just Google that, is NASA has printable 3D models of planets that they have landed on. So you can 3D print where the Curiosity, where the Curiosity rover landed on Mars, just kind of like a what do you
What?
call it, topographical relief map kind of
Uh-huh.
thing. So you can 3D print that. They kind of say on it, they've exaggerated the z-axis just so it makes it more visible.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
you can print craters of the moon. You can print. They have just uh, all sorts of things that you can 3D print, which kind of cool. I didn't know this existed. So there
That
you
is
go.
super cool. I'm
That's
I'm totally
my
scrolling through. There's a lot of asteroids on here.
yes, Bennu, which we talked about just most recently. You could 3D print that. Probably they even probably have a gouge out of it where
The explosion happened.
the sample taker took a chunk. So, anyways, fun stuff you find on. Anyways,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
it it it
That's
knows me.
that that's super cool.
So
Oh,
there
the
you go.
K-band satellite beacon receiver. That
3D
looks
print
fun.
fun stuff.
Okay, that's super cool.
All right, there you
That's
go.
super cool. I guess since that was NASA, that counts as being space related because my thing is space related too.
Oh, of course.
Because I got this. I saw this on Apple News, but then it's a BBC article that for some reason I could not get access to the BBC article outside of the UK. I mean, maybe I could have VPN'd in or something like that. Anyway, so the article that or the link that we'll put on this is to ESA, the European Space Agency website. But so the something fun is this is a satellite, Gaia, which has spent the last 11 years. It was launched in 2013, but it must have taken a while to get up and start operations. But it spent the last 11 years tracking the position, motion, brightness, and other characteristics of over 2 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy.
Oh,
It has
okay.
amassed some 142 terabytes of data, creating the most detailed 3D models of our galaxy ever made. It says, but the problem is that it is about to die. So it is at the L2 Lagrange point,
Okay. Okay.
and evidently it spins there at L2 and is to maintain its orbit in L2 and maintain observations. And it's almost out of propellant. And so before it completely runs out of propellant, they basically,
12 years of propellant. Huh.
yeah.
Wow.
What did it say? It says it relies on a cold gas propellant to keep it spinning and scanning the sky.
Hmm.
The amount of remaining cold gas, they didn't actually say what it was, decreases by about 12 grams per day and is reaching its end in early 2025.
Hmm.
So they've already stopped observations and they're doing some tests just to help provide data for kind of the next spaceship. But then the kind of cool thing is they're concerned that L2, it's kind of a special point in our orbit. And so they need to vacate it, or they want to vacate it before the satellite dies. So they're basically going to use the last of the propellant to get out of L2, go into a heliocentric orbit, and let the satellite, eventually die, but
Okay.
just go into an orbit other than be in one of the stable points. So
Okay.
The other kind of thing I pulled out of this is evidently they've been doing data dumps from this, and the amount of time it takes to process them is very long. So it says the Gaia scientific and engineering teams will continue to work full steam on the preparations for Gaia Data Release 4, which is not more of the same, but will make new groundbreaking science possible by including a much larger data volume, more data products, and data of overall better quality compared to Gaia Data Release 3. In the course of 2025, once all of Gaia's nominal science data have been downlinked to Earth, the processing for the final Gaia Data Release 5 will ramp up and run in parallel to Data Release 4. Gaia Data Release 4, covering 5.5 years of mission data, is expected in 2026, and Gaia Data Release 5, covering the full 10.5 years of mission data, around the end of the decade. So for some reason, it's going to take another 5 years to process the data. I don't understand.
Yeah. But I don't know why either.
maybe they've got the 486 in the corner that just got to chug along for a while.
Or
I don't know.
They have to hand edit every line of whatever.
I don't know. I know nothing about this, but anyway, so let's see. So the actual thing, it says, after these tests, those engineering tests I mentioned, which will last several weeks, the Gaia spacecraft will leave its orbit around the Lagrange point L2 to be put into its final heliocentric orbit away from Earth's sphere of influence. Eventually, the Gaia spacecraft will be passivated on 27 March 2025 and reach its well-deserved retirement.
Passivated, huh?
I guess that's the opposite of activated. Passivated.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know. Never heard that word before.
All right. Well, fun stuff.
There you go.
Fun stuff.
All right, my friend.
Yeah.
Have a good night tonight. It's good to chat.
We shall catch you next time.
All right. Talk to you later, Eric.
All right, John.
Bye.
Bye.